Hello everyone, I'm Burfy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest cars made by the in-game manufacturer Benefactor in terms of lap time. As always, the position counter is in the top left with the best lap time the vehicle achieved in the top right, and since it's more for interest purposes rather than anything functional, non-raceable cars are included in this list. Also, as the title says, this is cars only, there's no bikes, planes or anything else here. This video only focuses on track performance, so if you're interested in top speed, where braking, cornering and acceleration aren't relevant, check the link in the description for the top speed testing series, and if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists the top 10 cars and is correct as of the Cayo Perico heist update. For any vehicles added after that or other classes of cars, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to support this work and get testing results of any new cars a little bit early. So, with 25 cars, Benefactor is the fourth biggest car maker in the game, after Bravado, who makes 26, D-Class, which makes 44, and Vapid, which is the number one, making 54. They've got a lock on the sedans class with the top 4 cars there, and when you include the sports cars that can also be used in sedan races, Benefactor actually makes the top 6 sedans. So that's why we're seeing a lot of the Shafters, the Shafter V12, even the Glendale Custom. They're all made by Benefactor and they just demolish the sedans class. But in addition to that, they also make some pretty classic at this point sports cars. We did also see the Sterling GT, which for a long time was the king of the sports classics class. That was down in 8th place. But as we come into the top 5, we're seeing the Serrano, which is a classic now. You know, this is a car from 2013 when the game was first released, and it's still up there as Benefactor's 5th quickest car. It's only 33rd in the quite frankly oversized sports class, but the next 3 cars that we see from Benefactor are all going to be in that sports class as well. You've got the Schlagen GT, which kind of feels very similar to the Serrano that we just saw, but it's, you know, a second per lap quicker. It's got a much higher top speed, but it's a very similar way that the cars drive, and it's certainly 3rd, 4th and 5th places in terms of Benefactor cars. They're all nice cars to drive, the Serrano, the Schlagen GT, and our 3rd placed vehicle, which is still, even from, you know, all the way back from 2013, is still the quickest sport class car that Benefactor make, is the Feltzer. If you don't own a Feltzer, you just got to buy one. You know, they're only about 100k because, like I said, it's from 2013, so back when the pricing was a lot better. It's not quite in the top 10 for the sports class, and it's only just a little bit quicker than the Schlagen GT, certainly in the same tier as it. But it's just a great car to drive, and certainly these 3 sports cars from Benefactor are just great driving experiences, and even arguably some of the Shafters and the Sterling GT are nice driving experiences as well. But we're up to, you know, 3rd place, and we haven't seen any supercars or anything like that, and that's because for a long time Benefactor hadn't made a supercar. But then they knocked it out of the park with their only supercar, and the first one that they made, of the Krieger, which obviously it sits in 2nd place for this list as the 2nd quickest car that Benefactor make, and also the 2nd quickest supercar in the game when it comes to raceable supercars, with a 58.5 second lap time. That's, you know, a massive difference to what we just saw from the Feltzer, considering the Feltzer was the quickest car that Benefactor made for a long time, and then they immediately jump 5 seconds per lap quicker. Yeah, they really knocked it out of the park with the Krieger, and obviously it's only just very slightly behind the Emirates, but it's certainly in that top tier for supercars and supercar races. You can certainly use this. But the fastest Benefactor car is also the fastest car in the open wheels class, and is ultimately the fastest car in the entire game as well, with the BR8. Also, considering that Benefactor is the GTA Universe's version of Mercedes, they're right on the money with this one. Benefactor making the fastest car in the entire game is also why we're starting with them for these manufacturer spin-off videos. And when you look at that difference in lap time, you know, we've gone from a 1:03 with the Feltzer in 3rd place to a 58 seconds with the Krieger in 2nd place, and then a 54 seconds to the BR8 in 1st place. And no car in the game even comes close. No car can even get a 55 second lap time around this track. It's only the BR8, the only thing in the entire game in terms of cars that can get below 55 seconds or even below 56 seconds. And when you see the comparison here, the Krieger is actually ahead at the start because both cars can take the first few corners at mostly full speed, and the Krieger has a higher top speed. When it comes to top speed, the Krieger would actually be number 1 for Benefactor Cars, followed by the Schlagen GT and then the Schafter V12, obviously because the open wheelers don't really have great top speed, but those would be the top 3 for top speed for Benefactor Cars. But obviously as soon as we get a few more tighter corners where the grip of the BR8 can actually make a difference, and you see the big gap start to come from the BR8 to the Krieger, and by the end of the lap, especially from that last corner, just flies around there almost full speed. It just, you know, the difference is huge. So there we have it. Those are the top 10 fastest cars made by Benefactor in the game. And like I said, since Benefactor is the GTA version of sort of Mercedes, it makes sense that the fastest car in the entire game comes from them. But it's also quite interesting to see that they haven't really historically had some very quick cars, and it's only the last 2 cars really in terms of second and first places that have really upped the game in that respect. But yeah, it's something that I've been wanting to do for a while, these kind of videos, and finally have managed to sort of sort out all the manufacturers for all the cars. So we're going to go through quite a few and see what is the quickest. And like I said, Benefactor is only the 4th biggest manufacturer, and there's a lot of manufacturers that make sort of 5 cars, 6 cars, things like that as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see certainly some of the bigger ones and also some of the smaller ones, and just how good these manufacturers are at making certain cars and what kind of lap times they get. So that's pretty much it for this one. Let me know if you enjoyed this down below in the comments and which manufacturer you'd like to see next. And yeah, consider supporting on Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want testing results early. And remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed it, found it helpful, and subscribe for more. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.